Thank you, Professor Kohli. And now I request our Principal Maharaj, Swami Kamalastananda Maharaj, to speak a brief note of today's program. Maharaj.
So thank you, our very associate professor, our actually Dr. Vishwajit Ghosh. He is also the PG coordinator of our college, and we are very happy that we have the Professor Kohli, a very respected professor, and also in this induction program, my very beloved colleagues of the Botany department, they are present, and also the students, they are joining. Actually, 1 or 2 minutes. Actually, I think they will come, and many students are also in YouTube platform because this program is in live mode. Sir, we are very happy that in this beautiful evening you are amidst us. And so, in the very outset, I express my heartiest regard and sincere thanks, Professor Kohli, on behalf of this college, on behalf of entire Botany department, all faculty members, all students, staff members. Sir, please accept our respectful gratitude and sincere thanks, sir. Please accept.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your brief introductions and welcome to Professor Kohli. Now I request our faculty members, Dr. Avik, to introduce Professor Kohli. Avik.
My voice is audible. Hello.
Hello, it is audible to me.
Audible.
Yes. So I tell students also, you please wholeheartedly actually witness this his deliberation. He is a very renowned scientist, and above all, he is a very good teacher. You can understand during his deliberation. And so I tell the students, especially those are present here, so you after that you interact with him, and I tell you that this interaction surely be the memorable instance in your future life, because you just face to face interact with Professor Kohli ji. So don't miss this opportunity. And these words, I express my heartiest regards and thanks to Professor Kohli ji on behalf of this college, and also thanks all the participants, those are present in different platforms. So thank you. Thank you all.
তাহলে করো, আমি তো অলরেডি অ্যানাউন্স করে দিয়েছি।
So Dr. Ghosh, please continue.
Okay, Maharaj, some problems with the Avik. Will introduce Professor Kohli. I think there is some problem in joining. So, okay, I request Professor Kohli to, he is internationally renowned teacher. Avik, you are here? Avik, you are here? Avik?
He's joining. I think, yeah, he's joining. Just I think he wait to a few seconds. He's already joined.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are some issues with my connection.
Now it is audible.
Yes.
Okay, now you introduce. Okay, Avik.
So, yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Audible. So it's a great opportunity for me to welcome Dr. Ravinder Kohli. So just to introduce him, I'll start by saying that it's a prolific career and it's a real honor for me to introduce him to our students. So Professor Kohli did his graduation from Punjab University and subsequently did his post-graduation from University. Then he pursued his PhD from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, and did post from the Academy of Science. Now, as we all know that Professor Kohli is a recipient of the Bose National, as well as he is presently the VC of Amity University, Punjab. Also, he is the recipient of the Haryana Vigyan Award and the Punjab Ratan Award. He was also the former chairman of the State Appraisal Committee under Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Now, for process, he has visited several countries. That includes different countries from USA, Europe, Asia, Australia, and the list continues. And as a individual, he has also instituted annual scholarship, or rather award in the name of his father, in the memory of his father, Shivnath Rai Kohli Memorial Mid-Career Best Scientific Award. Professor Kohli is also a SARC chair for the Chittagong University, Bangladesh, and he is an adjunct professor for the Chinese Academy of Science. He is also the recipient of BP Pal National Environmental Fellowship Award conferred by the Union Ministry of Environment and Forestry. So, to continue with his prolific career, I also would like to highlight on his professional aspects as well. So, Professor Kohli, as we have already known, is presently the VC of Amity University. Previously, he was the VC of the Central University of Punjab from 2014 to 2020. Before that, he was the Dean of Research at Punjab University and was also the chairperson for the Department of Botany, Punjab University. He had remained a member of the NAC Appeal Committee and have remained the chairman of the NAC Accreditation Committee as well. Professor Kohli has remained and also continues to be the fellow of the Indian National Academy of Science, fellow of the Indian National Science Academy, New Delhi. He is also the fellow of the National Academy of Science, Allahabad. He is a member of the Indian Botanical Society. He is also a member of the National Environmental Science Academy, New Delhi. And he is the honorary secretary as well as the vice president of the Society of Environmental Scientists, New Delhi. So these are some of the many more achievements of Professor Kohli. And it's indeed a great pleasure and honor to welcome Professor Kohli in our institute. And I would hereby request Professor Kohli to give a lecture, and it will be an indeed honor, and it's a privilege for the students as well as for the teachers to listen to him and to know about his work and the way he presents his work. That will be a learning experience for us. So I would welcome Professor Kohli and request him to deliver the lecture. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary, and thanks, Principal of the college, RKMVC College. Thanks to Dr. Ghosh, also the organizers of this meeting. At the outset, I would sincerely convey my best wishes to the students who have been admitted to the post-graduation class in botany at your college, Vivekanand College. I have been asked to talk on a topic which I believe is important for the young boys and girls who are venturing into post-graduation and higher education. I believe that these boys and girls who have been admitted to botany, how many students are there, Dr. Ghosh or Dr. Chaudhary?
We have the first semester is the 35 students.
I see.
In postgraduate, and there is some students of the third semester also present.
Okay. So 35 students in botany, basic science. It is very good. So I would like to motivate the students to opt for research as a career. So I have entitled my lecture as why and how to adopt research as a career option. See, what I tell to every student, irrespective of the age, that every career is a good career. Every career has challenges in it. The only important point is that you should come at the top. Whatsoever you do, you should do it in such a way with hard work and dedication and commitment that you are at the top band. Every career has bands, lower band and higher bands. You will find very good teachers, very bad teachers. You will find good agriculturists, you will find mediocre agriculturists, or good police officers, or good bureaucrats, or good shopkeepers. So whatsoever you do, you must do it in such a way that you come at the top of it. And when I say whatsoever you do, I mean to say whatsoever interests you. So that is more important, since in higher education, research interests me more. So as a scientist, I can articulate, I can think, I can discuss this issue better than any other issue. Therefore, I have selected this topic, which I believe is pertinent for you all. And I tell you that every individual, may it be a small child, young child, kid, or adult, or an old man, everyone remains teacher throughout the life. We all are teachers. And at the same time, we all are students. This is a very strong bond between teacher and a student. Mother is the best teacher, and after the child grows, he or she becomes a better teacher even for the parents. Like you are now, to your parents, you can teach many things. Simple example, you can teach how to use mobile phone much better than your parents can teach you, or your teacher can teach you better. You are better teacher in this field because this is an issue of interest for you. So important, very important aspect is to come to the top, whichever vocation you are in. How to do it in research, I'll just discuss with you. First thing is, each one of us has to look within ourselves, self-introspection. We should not listen to others, that what is good and what is bad. You know it the best, what is good, what interests you better. So, you have chosen to be a botanist, a plant scientist. It is because you were interested in it. That is why you took up this field. Even if you are under compulsion, you have come to this field, convert this compulsion into choice. You will like it. So here what I am trying to say is that we need to try to find our own strengths, inner strength. Normally what happens with us is that we talk to people around us, or our parents, elder brothers, sisters, or even the teachers and the neighbors. Their success influences us more. Therefore, we tend to follow their path, little realizing that we do not know if that path we are called for it or not. So, what I suggest to you is, you should not seek any recommendation for selecting your career or selecting your field. When I say so, let us say as a botanist, you have to select the field of research. Do not look at the teacher. that who is a good teacher, that is why you will go in that field. Do not look at the importance of that field. Simply look within yourself which field interests you more. If you want to be a taxonomist, very good. If you like it. If you like biochemistry, plant biochemistry, go in for it. If you want ecology, go in for it. Physiology, cytology, genetics, whatsoever field interests you better opt it for your career. Do not try to follow the examples of others. Do not choose the career or discipline under pressure of friends or parents or teachers. Do not get fascinated from the glamour or the research facilities. If you find that, oh, in this institution, I get this facility very good, therefore I'll jump into that field. No, that is not a good strategy. Good strategy would be, if you are interested, if you are comfortable, if your mind works in that field, opt it. You know, Government of India has large many funds to support research. To me, it appears that there are over 43 or now even maybe 4,500 research institutions. And there are so many schemes of the government. You are aware of, I think, Kishore Vigyanik Protsahan Yojana. After class 10, it goes even up to PhD. You know about Olympiad programs. You have heard about Inspire, Innovation and Science Pursuit for Inspired Research and Education. There are 4 or 5 programs in it. Each one supports. Government says that if our own children can take up science and solve the problems of our own country, they are ready to spend money on us. So this is one of the very good opportunities we all have in front of us. Are you aware of the summer school research fellowships? You know, the academies, I am fellow of all these academies, and the 3 academies, Indian National Science Academy, Indian Academy of Science, Bangalore, and National Academy of Science, India, Allahabad. They have joined hands in training young boys and girls like you. During summer vacations, after your semester is over, and second session is to start, in that period, you can opt for summer school research fellowship. You can apply. Earlier, there were only 500, then it increased to 200, 500, then 1,000. Now it is 2,000 fellowships every year for 3 months, or it depends. If you want shorter time, 56 days, about 2 months, you can select any good lab, any good scientist to expose yourself in that field in which that scientist is working. So this will be at the cost of the government. Government pays for your travel, government pays for your stay. In addition, government pays, I think, around 6,000 to 10,000 rupees per month as your pocket money. Research facilities are provided by the institute in which you want to go in for this fellowship. And you are to send a report. This will give you big opportunity to learn the techniques, and your mind will start working. Then there are certain schemes like Boycast on the DST. There are schemes like Faculty Recharge Program. junior research fellowship, senior research fellowship, research associateship. You know, if you are a good worker, you will never, you know, need a life which is non-active. You will always remain active and the government will keep on supporting you. Keep it in mind that it is the quality of work which is recognized better. You know, if you go abroad and you want to come back to India, still government is ready to help you, to give you jobs. Then there are certain Ramalinga Swami Ramanujan fellowships. Every month one gets, the teacher gets 1,35,000 as a salary plus 7 lakh as research grant per annum. Then JC Bose fellowship, along with my salary, I am getting 25,000 per month as my pocket money and 15 lakh rupees per annum for research. And in this, I need not ask anybody. I can go anywhere in the world using this money. I can employ anybody to work with me. I can purchase any book. I can purchase any equipment. So what I am trying to say that the government has so much of funds for you and me for research. These are some of the scheme, Inspire scheme, at the level of, lower level of this education. Then assured opportunities. If you are a topper or are coming in that band, government says that we will give you salary throughout life. You know, ऐसी scheme और कहाँ मिल सकते हैं, you cannot find anywhere else. Now I'll come to the right task. The first part was to apprise you of the opportunities before us for our own livelihood. To be a scientist, why should I be a scientist is a question that was bothering me when I was your age. After clearing my MSc second year, soon thereafter I was selected as DSP in Delhi Police. I did not join the police because I felt that that is not my cup of tea. I wanted to do something which keeps me excited, which keeps me, healthy thinking. And, when I left that, when I didn't join that police force, my father was very unhappy, saying that this is a gazetted post you have left. I was asked, what would you do? I said, I will be a scientist. Because when I was in class 6, my teacher of English, Mr. Srinivasan, he had said in a classroom that if you want to live even after death, be a scientist. He gave us the example of Archimedes, Mendeleev, Avogadro. Such examples he gave to us, and that was imprinted in my mind. When I was returning home from Delhi, on my way, I thought that what should I do then? Unemployment was there when we were young. Unemployment is here when we are old. Unemployment will remain when we are no more. But at the same time, people are getting employment. Who gets employment? Who is good in quality and good worker. So here, the question that I assessed for myself, why to be a scientist? These are the 5-6 points. It is a field which is very exciting. You are always into the mid of success and failure. Your mind is always working. I believe there are only 2 such professions which keep you excited throughout life. One is to be a researcher. When I say researcher, I don't mean only science. I mean even languages. I mean even social sciences. I mean even law. Any field which keeps you excited is a good field. Second field, I believe, is that of law. Advocates, lawyers. They are always keeping in mind their client's problem, how they can make them win. Other jobs, bureaucratic system or business, these are hard intensive works, but no excitement. The same thing is repeated daily. So this is one aspect which I believe is good reason to be a scientist. Second is creativity of knowledge. Whatsoever you do in science or in research is a new thing. You have created some new knowledge. Ethically also, we must be creating new knowledge, because whatsoever we are enjoying today is the discovery or invention of our forefathers. Now it is our duty to leave something new. We need to add something to it for our next generations to come. So this becomes our ethical duty. Then for a researcher, one gets good visibility in the world community. If you are a scientist, I had been to Princeton University once. I had some time, I thought I should visit the library. When I entered the library, I asked the librarian for permission. I showed her my passport and asked for permission to visit library. She read my name. She said, wait a moment. She went inside and came out with 3 of my books. She asked, are these your books? I said, yes, these are my books. I have written them. They were published in USA. She immediately took me in. What I am trying to say here is that it is the work that speaks louder than your name. And you are recognized with your work. There are many such examples which I can quote. I simply want to say that you become visible the world over. You get a sense of achievement of something good. This imbibes a new element of confidence. If you have done good work, automatically your confidence limits will go up. Governments and society listens only to the scientists. Whenever there is a problem, scientists are asked to find the solution. Even these politicians, they are talking with the political scientists, analyzing it with the statistician. So it is the science that helps government. It is the science that helps the society. You know how good it looks if government listens to you. You become a part of decision making for any problem of your state or the mohalla or your home. You being a scientist have better analytical mind. And of course, as I just said, scientists, they never die. They live even after death. Now, when I say that we should choose research as a career, what is research? You all know what is research. If whatsoever we do in a systematic manner to find solution to a problem, it means we are doing research. Researches are of 2 types. One is discovery, other is invention. Discovery of a thing which exists in the world, but we have not been able to identify it. We have not seen it. We have not known it. We dig out from the nature something new, and we call it, we have discovered something. When we, that is the basic. When we produce certain product out of that basic knowledge, out of that discovery, like current was discovered, bulb was invented. Application of the discovery is the invention. In the society, people saying that I am doing B.Tech. Other one says I am doing BE. BE, Bachelor of Engineering. Science, Engineering of Science of Engineering is BE. BTech, Technology. Bachelor of Invention, Bachelor of Improving Technology or finding some product out of that discovery. So both are important. If you look at the history of science, discoverers remained poor, inventors became rich. Both are important. If you want to be a discoverer, very good. You are already into basic sciences. From the basic sciences, if you want to do some invention, do some applied aspects of it, so that you become rich as well. Now, how to think of research? What to research? Why to research is a question. When I was your age, I also used to think, what should I be doing if I am to do research? Then ultimately the question used to crop up, why I do this? What would be the advantage of this? Such things keep brewing in the mind, and I'm pretty sure, very confident, that in each one of you, in the mind of each one of you, these questions must be arising. You are simply, instead of, thinking deep in it, you simply ignore it. Stop ignoring, start thinking. You will see the difference in your own temperament, in your own outlook. Any research begins with a problem or a problematic situation, as I have written on this slide. What you are expected is to ask why I want to investigate it. This question should bother you. Once it starts bothering you, it means you are into the first step of doing research. There is no age limit for thinking for research. A very young boy, a very young girl can do it, can think about it, can act on it. Very old people can also do it. I do not know, thoroughly see how this word research has come into anthology of it. I did try to find out how it has emerged. I could not. But I feel this word research stands for RESEARCH. Each letter has a meaning. R stands for reading, reviewing, and reacting. I'll come to it later again during this presentation. Reading, whatsoever comes before you, just read it. Then you start thinking and review it. Whatsoever has been written, is it right or wrong? You are reading newspaper, read it. Then in your mind, questions they come. Try to probe those questions. And then you can even react to those questions. Reading, reviewing, and reacting is a very good path for making you a good researcher. E stands for exhaustive study. When you are reviewing, you keep on digging out the material. Exhaustive study, explicate. The second E stands for explicating knowledge, digging out knowledge, and exhaustive study. These two E's stand for. S, in my opinion, stands for search for truth and facts. If you are truthful, you will have a long research life. If you fabricate your data, your life is short-lived. You'll not be progress in research. Then A stands for aptitude. I'll come to this. You will need to assess yourself whether you have that aptitude or not. For research, one must have that aptitude. Otherwise, I say if you do not have that aptitude, don't go in for research. Select some other field which interests you. That is more important. Or the second R of research is for reconfirmation of whatsoever you have created. In one situation, you created something. Now you want to do it in another situation. If it accepts, it means you are successful. C stands for commitment. You know, ये अपने आप बनाया है मैंने. Whatsoever you want to make, you can do it. C stands for commitment. You are to be committed to do a job. And H stands for hypothesis and hard work. I'll come to it later. You know, the prerequisites, as I said, you are to assess your own aptitude. For a successful researcher, it is very important that the field of research is of the choice. If you are botanist, you are plant scientist, you have selected this as field of your further studies, your expertise. If it has not been so, under compulsion और कहीं admission नहीं मिली तो botany में मिल गई तो आ गए. Don't crib. Convert this compulsion into choice. Start loving plant science. You will start relishing it. फिर नींद भी नहीं आएगी, थकान भी नहीं होगी अगर आपकी चॉइस का सब्जेक्ट है. अगर चॉइस की फील्ड है, you know, in the domain plant sciences, field of research, let us say taxonomy, psychology, mycology, whatsoever. So that choice is before you. Institution is not that important, as important as your choice, because it is to stay with you throughout life. Try to nurture your choice under compulsion. If you are there, you know, there are limitations also. Sometimes financial limitations, sometimes the house is near. I'll not have to stay in the hostel, or I can afford this. Something like whatsoever are the reasons. Convert that compulsion into choice. Then prerequisite is determination. You should be determined over desire. You know, everybody desires to be a Nobel laureate, but that is not possible unless you are determined to succeed in your research. That changes the whole scenario of science in the world. You are eligible to be a Nobel Prize winner. Then dedication over casual approach. Casual approach won't work. हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे, कोई बात नहीं, आज नहीं तो कल से. You ought to be dedicated to the work, and you should be committed. You should not evade. Evasion is not good for you. If you feel that you are committed to a cause, पृथ्वी इधर की उधर हो आप करोगे, you are a potential good scientist. Hard work over intelligence. What is more important is hard work. I don't attach much importance to intelligence. In my university, when students come to me for research, I did, I think, around 54 PhD scholars. I choose only those who are hardworking. To make them intelligent is our duty of the teacher. The temperament of the teacher should be such which grooms a scientist. To be successful, you know, I said that you should be at the top. Top level will come. In that band you will come if you have such properties in you. So such properties will get transferred to the students. Students will also become hardworking, determined, you know, regular. So like that. If you are a hardworking student, determined, dedicated, it means you are a good potential researcher. You should be regular. Easiness won't work. कि आज नींद आई है, आज सो जाऊं, ट्रीटमेंट का टाइम है, लेट द टाइम गो, कल दे दूंगा ट्रीटमेंट. नो, नेचर विल नॉट वेट फॉर यू, experiment will not wait for you. You have to be prepared all the times to do the job as per the time schedule. Then it is more important that you should be truthful. Truthful over fabrication. ये आपको पहले ही बताया. Then ideas over funds. My lab in Punjab University, still I have a lab at Punjab University where my students are working. You will not find very heavy equipment there. I use simple tools, simple equipment. If I need heavy equipment, I go to these agencies who will analyze your material at a certain cost. It becomes very cheap for me, and I don't have to have the hassles of maintaining that equipment or spending on its electricity, all these things. What I simply need equipment is for analysis. I'll go to a person. Okay, you have equipment of, let us say, 1 crore of rupees. Analyze this material. I'll pay 2,000, 5,000 rupees, and it's okay. Then patience over duty approach. A scientist has to be patient. Nature will take its own time to respond to your treatment. Therefore, these choice, determination, dedication, commitment, hard work, regularity, truth, ideas, and patience, these are required for a good scientist in the making. Now I come to how to begin research. If you have those properties in you, you start thinking, and for thinking, for research, how to begin. Begin. Questioning is the most important part. Identify a problem, start questioning what, why, and how. If this thing happens, what is the outcome? If I do this, what is going to be the outcome? So this way, you will start questioning the action and aspiring for the results. Now, how to choose a scientific problem? I tell you, each one of you is a born scientist. Mark my words, analyze it. Even a small child, small kid of 2-3 years, he also has the power of analysis. You allow to stand him on a table and tell him to come step down, he will never step down. He knows that he will fall. He has that power of analysis. Likewise, you also have power of analysis, which is relatively more advanced than that of a child. You are observing many things in nature. You listen to many of the problems. You come across many of the discussions, and in those discussions, you can identify certain problems. So identifying a problem is important. After identifying the problem, you need to apply your mind to it. Think very deep. Be inquisitive. Dig out what is good in it, how it is. And then, after you have identified the problem, you try to find solutions to it. For finding a solution to it, you need to discuss among yourself with your colleagues. When I was young, in MSc, first year, I had a friend in agricultural botany. He was also interested in discussion. I was also interested in discussion. After our dinner, we would go in for a short walk. In the walk, we will take up a topic, and he will speak in favor of it. I will speak against it. And while returning, we will switch over. I will be speaking in favor of it, he will be speaking against it. And we would announce among ourselves that what would be the next day topic. We will read and start discussing. Reading may be from the same book, but our ideas will be different. So those ideas we will, discuss. This improves our thinking power. Many a times after my, joining the job, I would discuss the things even with my children, very young boys. 5 साल, 8 साल बच्चों के साथ I will discuss. I'll discuss with my wife the problems, scientific problems. They will not understand it, but they will have questions. Those questions will keep me alive. Then you ought to be very truthful in approach. Be a good analytical reader. These are, when you read, you are trying to identify the problem. Now you are very fortunate, you have internet under your fingertips. The whole world library is with you. These are papers you can dig out. In our times, it was not at all available. We would go to the library every Saturday morning till evening. We will make our notes and come back and do experiments. Now, when you have identified a problem, you need to define it. You have already known why you have selected it. It means the objective is with you. What had been the problem? With this problem, more problems are we need to encounter. Let us find solution to this. Those problems will not be there. So you need to develop a hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but calculated guess, educated guess. Let us say that from Calcutta, I am to come to Delhi. I say I will go by motorbike. I have to prepare for it. While preparing for it, if I know the distance, and if I know my speed of driving, if I know how much time I can drive continuously, how much time I will need for rest. So these things, if I calculate very well, very precisely, accurately, and every possible step, it means I have hypothesized that I will take so much time, so many hours to reach Delhi from Calcutta. It is likely that some of the aspects which I did not take care in the beginning come in at that time. Let us say if I start and after a day's journey, I get sick. That I had not anticipated. I had not calculated. Had I been calculated, then I would have counted it. So either I am successful or I am failure. I experience failure in this calculated guess. Both ways, something has come to me. I can come to know that in these many hours, I cannot reach from one place to the other place of this distance. Or if I am able to do it, I can very well say that anywhere I go, I'll be able to achieve it. So this is the first prerequisite for a good researcher to guess what is going to happen if I do this, if I do that, what is going to happen. So that way, and my suggestion to you, my tip for success to you is you make hypothesis, write it down. When you carefully write it, you are making the boundaries of it. You will not go haywire. You will not, spill over on the other side. Formulate a hypothesis, write it, and think in that circle. Then you need to define objectives, identify parameters which you would like to observe, list the material. Let us say from motorbike, on a motorbike, I'm to go from Calcutta to Delhi. I will see that my bike should not get a problem. Diesel is there. I have enough of money. I have the roadmap. So all these lists I must have. So the same thing applies to research. These are the steps. I think you all have experienced, practical doings in your botany subject. So you must have been keen observer. You must, whatsoever problem you have identified, you review it. Review means you read about it. Go to the library on your own computer, Google search or whatsoever, Wikipedia, whatsoever, try to study it. Whatsoever you do not understand, try to dig about it. That is what I mean to say reviewing. Then propose this possible hypothesis, challenge the hypothesis. That I like to challenge it, that if it doesn't happen, I will prove that this is not the path. Like that. Then make accurate observations, analyze the data through statistical treatment. This is important. In every science, in every systematic study, you need to prepare a model, and that model, through that model, you need to apply statistical treatments. So from Calcutta to Delhi, if I travel, let us say 100 times, how many times I will get that problem, or how many times I will prove to be correct. So from such aspects, you will come to know to a conclusion. Then, another thing that many of the scientists, they had large amount of data. You might also have seen in Indian publications, very long tables. Nobody can understand how to interpret that table. Lots of data. You need to have smaller tables. If the data is more, try to prepare graphs or histograms or pie chart, whatsoever, so that it gives the trend and then statistical applications to it. So this is what are the steps for it. And don't forget to have a data book. You are into science now. You have just entered into post-graduation. Each one of you, I would suggest, should have 2 diaries. One diary should be for your personal diary. You write whatsoever you observe in that diary. Whatsoever problems you have encountered. Whatsoever good things you have encountered. Whatsoever you feel is important for you in life, note it down. And the second is your research data book. Whatsoever you do in science, research, note it down. Whatsoever is the reading, you sowed the seed in the soil, how many days it took to emerge, note it down. How much has been the length of the plumule? If you take out, then how long is this radical plumule, total weight, such observations you write daily in your data book. This practice, if you start, I am pretty sure that you will be good, stable, systematically working scientists who will not have much of failures. These little things may have large impact on your science process. If you are writing, many a times, many of the research publishers, journal editors, they ask for rough data. If you have rough data with you, you will come to know the mistakes you have committed. Once I got saved, I was treating the plants in my dome. I went treating the plants with my solutions, whichever I wanted to do. On that very day, after I had sprayed with the chemical, there was strong rainfall. I had noted it down in my diary. But since it was a long experiment, I felt that doesn't matter. At the end, we will see. I'll continue with it. So that little, observation, which I had noted in my diary, helped me in interpreting my results. And some portion of it I had to repeat. So making a project data book will help you in your research. This also is important. Preparation of a research paper. I get many of the theses, many of the research papers for the comments. Many a times I read it. And sometimes I feel happy, sometimes bad about it. Reason is that sometimes the research is good, but the presentation is very poor. The reverse is also possible. Presentation is very good. The content of research is not that, exciting. One tends to allow its publication. You need to be very choosy in selecting the title of the paper. I suggest you that you write the paper first. After writing the whole paper, you think of writing the abstract. Normally people do the reverse. Normally people start with giving the title and then writing the paper. This is not a good strategy. Write the paper first. Think about the abstract of it. Write the abstract. And then apply your mind, brainstorm what should be the title, best title, catchy title. Now I tell you and narrate a small story. In Finland, I had gone to make a presentation on urban forestry. I had written a book, and on that book, they invited me that how do you call that urban forestry is a catchy term. When I went there, in one of the halls, there was a sub-plenary session and the hall was very full. People were standing. Other sub-plenary sessions, halls were not full, they were half empty. Vacant seats, many vacant seats. I was also interested in that sub-plenary session in which the hall was full, because the title of the lecture was Trees Pollute Environment. It was 180-degree diagonal. We always teach and we always believe that trees ameliorate the pollution. Here it says trees pollute environment. It was a catchy title. When I went inside, it was on eucalypt, and the terpenes, volatile oils that come out of it, their partial vapor pressure is more than that of air. It means they are heavier than air. They tend to come down. After rains, when you pass through eucalyptus, you will have the smell of eucalyptus oil. It means the oil goes out because they are heavier, they tend to come down and they touch the ground. So these terpenes are polluting. They cause asthma. Those living in vicinity of eucalyptus, they are always inhaling terpenes. Their nasal tract is fatigue. We call it olfactory fatigue. Sense of smell has been lost in the person because daily one is smelling it. So ultimately he said that this is a pollution, and because of this pollution, so many people he had shown have entered into pulmonary problems, itching problems. So trees pollute environment was the catchy title. So this way, I believe that you also write paper, but it should be, fitting well with the substance of the paper. And in this abstract, you need to write the purpose of experiment. What happens that you write a paper, you submit it for a good journal. Editor sends it back to you, not accepted. You feel very bad. You had done so much of labor, and he has very soon sent it back to me. The reason is that the abstract that you have written is more technical or more elaborate. One cannot understand it. You have not written the hypothesis. You have not written the objective of the experiment, the procedure, how you did it, just the mention of it, 1 or 2 sentences it needs. So that the editor who is not of your field of interest, he should be able to understand. If he understands, then he will send this paper to the right person for reviewing, for comments. If he doesn't understand, he'll say it is all nothing in it, send it back. Therefore, abstract writing should be at the end and title should be even thereafter. For display in the poster, many times some of us go to world conferences. There we are asked to make a presentation through a poster. Here also, you might have also seen many posters in your school days, in your college days. Here we used to have Children's Science Congress, where many a times I was invited to be a judge. I would see that, oh, paper is very good idea person has tried to work on. But the presentation is very good. The reverse is also true. Presentation is very good, content is just nothing. But those papers in which the poster presentation is good, you will find more people there. It should be catchy. It should have not very many words. It should have photograph, pictures, the size, wider, title, which is visible from the distance. So these things you need to understand. From the internet, I have taken these just to highlight. Now I come to 2-3 examples. What I did, reading, reviewing, and reacting. One of my friends from Czech Republic, when he was my neighbor there, he sent me an email showing that with cell phones, he could boil a hen egg in around 65 minutes. Through email, I got to learn about it. It started working in my mind. How come cell phone is able to do it? I started thinking, reviewing, went to the library, tried to search. Nothing came to me. I again tried to see that the cell phone, he had kept the egg between 2 cell phones. From one cell phone, the radiations will go through the satellite to the second cell phone. Cell phone works, the sound gets converted into electromagnetic frequency radiations in the cell phone, and through the other towers, internet towers, it goes to the listener. These electromagnetic frequency radiations convert into sound, and the other person can listen. These radiations are with very narrow wavelength. Narrower the wavelength, more the energy. Bigger the wavelength, lesser the energy. I knew it. So it is like microwave. I started thinking and reacted. I reacted that what's there in it? It is EMF radiations. It will lead to certain heat. Our inner of the external air gets warmed up when we keep mobile phone close to it. I thought it was just nothing. Soon, a friend of mine, he came to me asking that these cell phone towers on our, buildings. He was a tenant in a building in which the landlord had erected mobile tower, and he was worried lot that this building will collapse with the weight of the tower, and he will get crushed. He came to me, Dr. Kohli, can you help me in designing some petition? I want to go to the court. And another friend came to me that house sparrow is no more seen. I tried to search. A problem got identified. I tried to search. And then while reviewing, I learned that birds have very good sensory power. So I found that house sparrow means, as the name itself suggests, sparrow is a small bird. You might have seen Guraiya in Hindi, we call it. So this sparrow lives in the vicinity of urban settlement because in the forest, other beasts will eat away it. And it lives in the vicinity of man because there is very little meat to eat. So Chidiya is not afraid of man. When I found that house sparrows are available in outskirts, in open area in Jammu, I went and I saw there. I started thinking, why in the cities I don't find house sparrow and these are available in the open areas outside? I just hypothesized that it is because of the mobile towers, which are more in the urban area, more people, population density is more, and we are always in the vicinity of these radiations. So I started working on it, thinking how to do it. I purchased a small gadget I imported from USA, RF field strength meter. This is the antenna of it, and I tried to search, evaluate, discover the values of EMF radiations, density of it in the city of Chandigarh. And here I even tried to look at the pH of the soil, topsoil, because all the times, 24 hours, 365 days in a year, these radiations are emitted from the towers. On the towers, the radiation will come and they will have a parabolic path. They will come to the ground. And wherever they hit, they produce heat. So I thought that this must be increasing the warming of the soil. And I thought of looking at the microbes, pH, humidity, temperature, etc. of this soil. And in the ambient air, how much is the radiation I wanted to find. So while doing so, I took out the readings in all the sectors at 3 different locations. Till the hand can go, then the chest portion, and then the ground portion. So I could find so much of radiations, 97,926 in sector 26. Likewise in sector 42, 78,000. In the Supreme Court, there was a petition that said that it should be less than 10 microwatt per meter square. So this aroused in me a choice. I wanted to do it. That became a problem with me, that I have to find out what is the outcome on human body or plants or animals. So took the 2 phones. In between, I exposed these seeds, germinating seeds, and from those germinating seeds of mustard, small seedlings that emerged. In control, the root length was much bigger than the treated samples. Same way I did it with, you can also do it. If you have older these cell phones, you know, the newer cell phones, they have lesser SAR ratio. Otherwise, old cell phones, they become hot more. So you can expose the seeds, germinating grains, and compare it with control. You will find such issues. Then I knew that I am working on plants and people will not appreciate it because people are interested if I am working on animals or on human being. Human being I can't work because I am not MBBS doctor. Legally, I cannot do it on human beings. So I used to buy these hen eggs. My student would go to sector 29, fertilized eggs he would buy, expose these eggs between two cell phones. One cell phone, we will link it with the tape recorder because tape recorder will keep on converting the sound into electromagnetic frequency radiations. So after exposure, we try to make a window and see the embryo. This embryo is controlled where you will find many blood vessels. And this is the treated one. This is with, precipitated protein. In this picture, there is a mistake. And the mistake is that the treated ones I have enlarged. I wanted to show this white color of precipitated protein. And this window is small. This was sharper. I wanted it to be sharp, not diffused. So, but you can see the difference. So in the literature, I did find out what are the possible reasons for this. Could not find much because on cell phone, there was no paper at all. Not even a single paper I could come across. So I could publish many papers. And these, company people, I approached the Ministry of Environment. I wanted that the government should take a note of it, that every one of us is exposed to these radiations, and these radiations can damage our DNA. And there are many such chromosomal aberrations and all that. I will not go deep into it. My purpose is only to tell you that how you start reacting and thinking and preparing some hypothesis. So I wrote to the ministry and asked for a research project because the small gadget by which I was evaluating, that was like a toy. These people who are into this business of telecommunication, they did not agree that these are the good results, or the technique is not good. So I approached the ministry and I got a project. This is around 1.5 lakh rupees I spent on this Spectron RF 4060. So the equipment that these service providers they have, I bought the same. I imported it from Germany, and again checked throughout the city. 3-4 times I did, and then I bought this equipment, Agilent RF signal generator, with that frequency. This is the antenna of the signal. Around it, I would keep the material, and I will get the same frequency radiations, because when I used to send papers for publication, the reviewer would say that how much amount you have given, and in cell phone, initially the peak is bigger, and so ultimately it tailors. So the radiations are not same throughout. So that was a problem. And the second problem was that the experts would say that how much is the impact of heat? Is it the impact is because of heat or because of non-thermal effect? So I had established a room in which one was the control. Another issue was that where to have the control from. I used to go in the forest where there are no towers, but there the agroclimatic conditions were different. So such problems I did encounter, and I found solution to each of these problems. So here I studied, and these things I'll leave. This is the chick in which I found the problems of the development of brain. This is on the onion tips. This experiment you can also do. Take the onion tips, expose these to these radiations, and look at these cytological conditions. You will find aberrations in the chromosomes, and in the dividing cells, you will find the differences. So here the purpose is not to discuss this matter. The purpose is only to acclimatize you or to share with you how you can go ahead. This is the control of the electron microscopy of the EMF exposed root tips of mung bean ke root tips. This is the control, and these are the exposed, 4 hour exposed and 2 hour exposed. Likewise, the root hairs of the mung root tips. You can see the control and those exposed was shriveled. So this is, then we did it on honeybees. The honeybees would come, they would take time to come to the hive, because they will forget the path. So this is all. Second aspect, when I was young, just after my PhD, I read in the newspaper that in Karnataka there is an organization called Rayat Sangam. This organization, still it is there. You search from in the Google, you will find it. This organization took a pledge to uproot eucalyptus from their state of Karnataka. And these young boys and girls who were educated of practicing farmers, they were put behind bars. It caught my attention. I started thinking that why the young boys and girls, they are the farmers, why they have uprooted. So the question started growing. There was a strong agitation. I started looking at the issue. I found that eucalyptus is an exotic tree which has come from Australia. Tipu Sultan had brought it in the Nandi Hills in Karnataka in 1790. And it gained prominence in 70s and 80s because people wanted growing it for commercial purpose. And this became a tree of the social forestry, agroforestry. These terms you will learn in your MSc class. So I prepared a hypothesis for myself. The ground in which eucalyptus was growing, or still you can find it, the ground is naked. There is no vegetation on the ground. Floor is naked. The question that was in my mind was that, is this drying up of eucalyptus plantation floor a cause or a consequence of loss of vegetation? यहाँ पर vegetation नहीं है. Is it because of this that the ground is open to sky and there is transpiration from the surface? In Indian trees, you can compare it with people you understand, ficus religiosa, or neem, Azadirachta indica. These are Indian trees with thick canopy. Canopy, they make an umbrella. So even if there is plantation, the humidity of the soil will stay there. In case of eucalyptus, you can see the canopy is open canopy. There is a lot of space from which the water vapors can go up. So whether it is because water vapors have gone up, that is why there is no vegetation, or there is no vegetation, therefore water vapors are going up. So this I wanted to check. I looked at many of these reasons. I'll not go into those reasons. Ultimately, but I found that the eucalyptus plantation leaves, they shed away certain chemicals, and I call this mechanism as allelopathy, in which one plant interacts with the other plant through the release of chemicals into the environment. I would collect the, I'll place a sheet of polythene under the trees. When there is water coming, rain comes, I will collect the rainwater, filter it through the plants, and I will dig out the chemicals. It will be full of phenolics. So those phenolics I will use to treat other plants, whether it is injurious or is good, how much concentration, how many times I should do. So these things, or I will suck the air from underneath the canopy of eucalyptus in carbon tetrachloride, which will dissolve those terpenes and the air will go out. So those terpenes, these essential oils, I will collect from carbon tetrachloride. Carbon tetrachloride will get evaporated and the flask evaporator, go to the evaporator. Or from the soil, I will do it. Collect the topsoil, put it in a flask, put water to it, evaporate. With water, these terpenes will also go up. And collect it in a tube, dry it, measure it, and start doing experiments. So from just a simple observation, simple newspaper, I worked on it. I was so tremendously, so committed. I got Young Scientist Award on my work on eucalyptus, because people had not thought of it. Everybody would say that it takes more water. I proved that this myth is not correct. It is a myth. Fact is that from the top surface of the soil, water gets evaporated out. So these controversies were settled. One more last controversy I would share with you, and then I'll stop. I read in a magazine, Down to Earth, which is published by Sunita Narayan, that there is a village in Karnataka where truckload of hair, human hair, and bird feathers, they'll come to this village. Here there is hair industry where artificial hair wigs and ponytails, etc. These are made, and every individual in that village is asthmatic. This is what is written in that article. I was told that hair is non-biodegradable. You excavate the dead body and you can evaluate the age of death, carbon dating of the dead body. I felt that how come it is non-biodegradable? It has to be degradable because it is organic material. Of course, organic material is even plastic. It also has a lot of carbon. Here, it is an organic from the body of man. It is not plastic. Had it been non-biodegradable, I would have found tuft of hair on the surface of the earth. I said no. I prepared a hypothesis that this hair is degradable. I would like to prove it. So I tried to now forms to eat it. This is not this. I gave this hair to the earthworm. Earthworm ate it, and ultimately the fecal matter, the droppings of the earthworm which I got, were free of partheny. Sorry, were free of hair, and it was rich in nitrogen. Nitrogen is because this hair is made of protein, dead protein, full of nitrogen. So I analyzed it and I patented it. Same way, I patented the Parthenium. Parthenium, I think you are all botanists. You must have seen this Congress glass. It has Parthenium in it, which is non-biodegradable, people say. I gave it to the earthworm. The fecal matter did not have the Parthenium. So I realized that in the earthworm gut, there are aerobic bacteria. Earthworm gut has oxygen. These bacteria are aerobic, so these can eat away this Parthenium. And what I have not as yet been able to do is whether the Parthenium has been degraded or it has been absorbed or adsorbed by the inner gut of earthworm. The earthworm, the growth of the earthworm had been impacted very severe. So this is the patent I got. With these words, I thank you all for listening to me, and I believe this lecture will be useful to you, or some of you, or all of you, if you adopt research as a career, and while adopting research as a career, you look at the tips. If you want, I can send this presentation to your teacher. If I get the email, I'll send it to you. You can read it, you can go through it. You can have any question today, now, or afterwards, to email or to telephone, whichever the way suits you. I am always with you. Thank you so much. Thanks to the principal, sir, of this college. Thanks to Dr. Chaudhary and Dr. Ghosh for giving me this opportunity. Good luck to you all. If you have questions, I'll be ready to try to respond to them. Thank you so much. Was I audible?
Okay. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Dr. Ghosh.
Okay, sir. Just I mentioned thanks to Professor Kohli, you are really triggered the mental makeup of our students. I think it is very useful, and I learned many things from your lecture. You just start with the your choice of the subject is you mentioned is a very important, irrespective of the institution, and you mentioned very nicely about the how today government facilitates the different types of scholarships and fellowships for a student, and definitely out of different job you should stick your subject and for a research purpose, and how you carry your research in different aspects. I am really, really feel as a in my young student, in my MSc life, that in the students of how we select the MSc, and you mentioned categorically in all aspects, from your thinking generations, or you prepare your hypotheses, yeah, and how you carry your research, and how to get your even the data. You nicely mentioned the two books, data books. I'm impressed on how to write publications. Every aspects of research you mentioned very nicely and lucidly. I think our students are enjoy and triggered for your nice lecture. Now I request our student, if you have any questions, to ask freely, sir, without any hesitation. Students, please ask sir some questions. If you feel, I think he cleared everything, although you can ask some questions about what you have any doubt.
Good evening, sir. Good evening,
Hello,
everyone.
good evening. Good evening.
Yes, sir. You mentioned about many funding agencies. So, can you just tell us how can we approach all these agencies if we are willing to work with them?
You mean to say radiations? You know,
Yes,
could you
sir.
please repeat your question?
Yes, sir. You mentioned so many funding agencies like DST, Inspire, and so many.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
So can you just tell us how we can approach all these agencies?
See, you just search Google. All these agencies, they have their on the website, or the names which I have given. You put in your Google search, you will get it. Or if you want, I can send you the links. You know, it is not difficult at all. When I was doing research at Punjab University, I had prepared data for the teachers to apply for research funds. If I can get, I think it was about 10 years back. Now there might have been many changes. So best is put into Google search these names. Inspire, if you write, you will get DST, sir. So like the women scientists, you'll get DST or DBT or UGC. You know, there are so many agencies. I think around 40 to 50 agencies are there in India who fund research. Okay, is it convincing or you want something more?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And any other student?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
It was absolutely hello, sir. I am Oshik. It was absolutely a stunning session. Learned a lot of from your this PPT presentation. Learned a lot and a great session. Sir, I like to ask that it happens many times that many students, PhD students, or many students who want to masters to certain institutions uh, faces some problems like in many institutions, unlike IISc or national institutions, there are certain problems in laboratories. Means the laboratories are not such too much high tech or too much developed, and due to such problems, students many times choose to go to foreign and serve there as a research student, or do his or her PhD from there, and there he or she also got many facilities along with the laboratories facilities and along with that. So do you think that the government of India should also change their perspective in spending lot more in research, and so that students more tend to work in India than rather than in the foreign foreign countries?
What you are saying or you wish is my wish as well. I wish government of India should spend little more. The amount of money being spent on research is not adequate compared to the pace of growth the world over. But at the same time, if you have a passion, if you are committed, you will find the way. You will get the path. It is not necessary that those who have good research facilities, only those work and succeed. Even people like me, who doesn't have much of good research facilities in my own lab, I use the labs of other institutions. Nobody objects to me. And there are labs. Government of India has 6 or 7 such, central instrumentation labs. In Calcutta also there is one. In Punjab University is one. Delhi University is one. So these are central instrumentation labs, which are even sophisticated instrumentation, SAF, they call it. I am a member of the advisory committee of one of those labs. These labs, they charge nominal sum, 1,000, 2,000 rupees for analyzing your material. For centrifuge, high-speed centrifuge. You give them some payment, you get the contingent grant You don't use this contingent grant on purchasing of stationery. You use it for analysis of your research material. And, or if you write to the government that this is, I need a small grant, little grant for this and this research. People have funds, people give funds. So don't try to crib that facilities are not there. Whatsoever is the limitation with us. Why to bother? In those limited area and facilities, work it. You know, like if I am born in a poor family, my parents do not have car or they cannot afford me good luxuries. Still, I am working. I am working with the little facilities. And you can borrow facilities also. You should be good enough, better than others. So these things, they are not related to what I say that for doing good research, facility is the problem. No. If you are a good worker, the whole world is with you. You know, many of Indians, as you have rightly said, that many of us, they go abroad for doing PhD or for postdoctoral research. And many of them, they get absorbed there because they were or are so good that the foreign labs, they want to absorb them. So in this competitive world, everybody looks at good quality work. So whatsoever we keep on saying, we keep on cribbing, forget about it. Think of something which is growing in your mind and which can change the face of the world. You know, how I got the recognition is, I am a plant biochemist by training. My PhD is in plant biochemistry on physiology and biochemistry of flowering. When I joined Punjab University, I was asked to teach ecology, which I had never even studied. In MSc, there was a small paper of ecology, and that was ABC of it. I used my biochemistry knowledge into ecology and started a field called allelopathy, which I shared with you in eucalyptus or in Parthenium or so many work I did. Because this allelopathy at that time, nobody had even thought of it. There was not even the word of it. Then I used to go to different places to give lectures so that I wanted that people should work on this. It is a simple experiment. So therefore, this branch came in. Now there are institute, there are journals on this aspect. So my suggestion or request to you is that instead of looking for the facilities, whatsoever facilities you have or you can achieve those facilities, think of doing something. Ultimately, you will get the path. I can understand that at your age, you will say that what I am saying is all nonsense. Because without facilities, how can we work? But once you start working, then you will realize that, oh, lot many things can be done. Okay? Fine, Mr. Sinha?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And also thank you for the great session. Thank you, sir.
Any more students?
Sir, myself Somnath Banerjee from third semester PG Department of Botany. So first of all, I would like to say that thank you, sir, for this great webinar. We learned a lot of new additional things, and also a great thank you to our professors who and Maharaj Principal Maharaj, who had arranged this great webinar. We got to learn many things. Sir, my question is that we know that after the during this corona pandemic, sir, especially the science subjects, those got heavily affected. As sir, we know that the practicals in science subject mean a lot, and the labs and the practicals colleges has been closed for a long time, and students are unable to attend the practical sessions. And sir, after the passing of MSc, sir, everyone would be doing the MSc in some subjects, be it zoology, botany, or microbiology. And sir, after that, one has to qualify national level entrances to enter into research. So, sir, basically, my question is that at a level, it's all the same, sir. Means everyone would be MSc and had qualified with a NET JRF. Sir, what extra can we do to increase our experience? I mean, my basic target is where I would be applying. Why should the my PhD supervisor or the person, he or she should hire me? That what extra quality I should bear with me, sir?
See, number one and most important, you need to clear UGC CSIR net. Most important. Because now it is a licensing exam. For fellowship also you need it. This is one. Second is that whenever you get time, you visit certain good labs. Start working in those labs. Third, you must apply. Article, this is open. This summer research fellowship, summer student fellowship. This is with Bangalore Indian Academy of Sciences, IISC. So there you apply and you try to find out good labs which matches with your interest. You know, if you are interested in genetics or in human genetics, or let us say you are plant scientist. If you are interested in biochemistry, plant biochemistry, or in genetics, or in GM crops, so you try to search good lab, apply to the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IISC, catch hold of a fellowship, go to the lab, work there. You will get, good rapport with the lab mates. In the meantime, you clear your net, join for PhD with that lab. Or at the same time, you can apply for lab abroad. But you need to first identify the problem, what you want to work on. Even for going abroad, the scientist, whomsoever you will search, you will write to him or her that this is the problem I want to work in your lab. So that the doors become open. The problem of COVID, it is same for everybody throughout the world. So don't look at those limitations. You must have utilized this time in doing some good theoretical work. If not, then you have committed a mistake. During this COVID period, I started writing my books, my research papers. Throughout my life, in 1 year, I could not produce more than 9 papers. This year, I could produce 13. A lot of data is with me. Working on it became an easy task. Likewise, you can also start writing certain reviews. For review, you need only the library. Think of a problem, try to review it, try to write it, go to your teacher, get the guidance, reshape it, do something. At the beginning, you are liable to commit mistakes. Mistakes are always sweet when it is at your age. At my age, if I commit silly mistakes, I cannot be pardoned. You can commit silly mistakes as well as big mistakes. You are a learner. Don't worry or bother about those mistakes. You will learn. Good luck to you, Dr. Banerjee.
Somnath.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Any more question? Okay, sir. There is no question, and this now
Okay.
we have to ask.
Good luck to all the students. My sincere good wishes to you all for successful career ahead.
Thank you, sir, for your giving out lots of time and nice lecture. I'm really amazed from your lectures. Is a very informative and inspiring. Again, I thanks to Professor Kohli and thanks to all of my colleagues and other friends and students also. Now I'm conclude the session with
Thank you.
namaskars, sir.
Namaskar. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, Professor Kohli ji, Swami Komalasthana telling, sir, if you come Kolkata, give a miss call to me. I arrange your visit our institute.
All right. I'll contact you whenever I
Yes, sir.
believe
Yes,
that.
sir. Your physical presence, I think, give a lot of joy to us, all students and faculty, sir.
I will.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Yes,
to you,
please.
Maharaj Principal. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Maharaj, now we are conclude the just leave the session or we are continuous, Maharaj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We conclude the session, and this, I think, the administrator will actually end the meeting.
Okay. Namaskar, Kohli ji. Again, we will meet with you.